STAKK Nation, welcome back to the channel.
Champions.
As you know, regulation by enforcement by a group of people who've decided to act like mafias is having an effect. I mentioned in one video before that this is not going to go, without any sort of consequences. The way that our governing bodies have decided to approach this crypto space, this Bitcoin space, and so on. As you can see here, wallet of Satoshi, which is really has been one of the best wallets out there when it comes to Bitcoin, self-custody and stuff like that, transacting in Lightning and such. So wallet of Satoshi exits US market amidst record-breaking month. So positive news led to a negative response for the US consumer. What caused this? Let's dive into this. So they're leaving and customers are now going to have to seek alternatives. So you see on Friday, this was this past Friday, wallet of Satoshi, a provider of Lightning Network payment services, announced its departure from the US market, though it refrained from providing specific reasons. Right, the firm informed its US clientele that they could withdraw and transfer their funds to different wallets.
I know the reason why.
Maybe it's because they probably process more transactions.
No, it's simple. They are being required to ALM because they don't want to say that maybe in the news, so that the Department of Justice and SEC will have a reason to come after them legally again, like they've gone after Kraken.
ALM? What is ALM?
This is where, stopping the international money transfers to avoid what's it called? Sending money to countries that the US does not approve. I'm trying to remember what the exact terminology is. KYC and ALM. So KYC is know your customer, and ALM is to stop the
money laundering?
Money laundering, yes. Yes, money laundering situation. And with wallet of Satoshi, you're not required to do that.
Well, you see, this move coincides with what was shaping up to be a record-breaking month for wallet of Satoshi. As observed by Kevin Rook. Okay, wallet of Satoshi is on pace to process over 1.1 million Lightning payments in November. That's just November alone.
Without KYC?
Yes, without KYC, and it seems to me like that is making things like Visa and all the other sorts of those transaction networks obsolete.
Yep.
Given the aggressive stance that the US has also been taking recently with a lot of the crypto exchanges and such, I can see how they would just choose to just step away, not fight them, because they don't want to have to deal with the shenanigans that these regulatory bodies are essentially bringing about. They would rather just go somewhere else where the technology is much more accepted and keep pressing on more progress to them. But I'll say this, the US consumer are the losers in this situation.
Thanks to the Department of Justice and SEC.
Yeah.
And CFTC.
Because, once you have worked and you've been paid, that money is yours. It's now your property. And when something is your property, by definition, it means it belongs to you and you have the right to do whatever you want to do with it.
Not after the Securities Act of the 1970s. The government seems to think that they must know where it is and why you own it and where you got it from.
Well, I think that they're allowed to think that. That is fine. But this is where Bitcoin allows us to get around that, because that is something that should have not been in place in the first place, right?
Yep.
But it is there because the general public never pays attention to these things.
Misinformed.
It is sadly disappointing.
Yep.
You rather watch Kim Kardashian.
Yep.
How useful has that been for your life?
Hey.
I have no bad feelings for anyone who loses out because they're watching Kim Kardashian. You deserve it.
Watching football all day.
Yeah. This is real life, and I think adults in America need to take their life a bit more seriously. All they do is just freaking want to find the next entertaining something that they can just freaking chit chat about and stuff like that. It is what it is. That is fine. I don't think that is a problem. But when you get negative effects from this, you should embrace those wholeheartedly as well. Because honestly, as much as we want to scream to the top of our lungs to try to convince people, people who are lazy to learn about what is happening to their own economy, things that are affecting your life directly, are heavily to be, well, I don't want to say blame, but really, what other word can I use? Are heavily to blame for this sort of insanity that is going on right now. Okay, you essentially have a group of people at the top just running shots on everyone. Does not really matter what you think, and everyone expects everything to turn out okay. How?
It's never going to be okay. It's so bad that even the software companies that you're using are in cohorts with the government. So like the Google Play Store and the Apple Store, they lobby your government to put in restrictions that prevents you from even doing, like, why would Apple, by the way, Apple steals 40% of any innovation before you get your hand on it.
Yeah.
Just to be in the Apple Store for you to get access to it. That's a major monopoly.
Well, it's a monopoly. It's insane. And it's total control of the people. And it's only going to get worse with AI, which is what we're going to be talking about next. Because if people think that this is bad, when you don't have a grip on AI, well, let's just say there's going to have to be a point where we'll have to unhook that car and let it just fall back on the rail. You know what I'm saying? It's a slow, well, it's a slow car. We'll call it that. Any other thoughts on this, sir?
Yeah, it's sad to see the wallet of Satoshi leave the US. I do hope that they come back if we have a better government. I think our governance right now in America is at a very horrible phase, where we don't even know the truth anymore.
Yeah.
And the truth now has even regulators and lawmakers making the wrong rules and regulations against their own citizens. And if you were someone speaking up against it, you're not pointed out as the bad guy. Whereas actually you're the real American. You're the real freedom fighter, which is what America is about. It's not about these all agendas where they're just trying to restrict and control more of your lifestyle. We saw that with COVID. Extremely restrictive.
Absolutely. Well, you know, we see the innovation flight happening. There are other countries that are providing or offering more favorable conditions.
El Salvador.
You know, the rest of the world has always sort of looked at everywhere else. Well, at least the West has looked at the rest of the world for a very long time as to be behind in many different ways. But I think at the same time, a lot of the people in the West have never really ventured out. So we're now in this phase where a lot of things have happened to this point in time, where I believe that any other time in the past, the US would have reacted to it swiftly and ruthlessly. But multiple things have happened. I'm not going to name them here, but some very significant things have happened, led by other nations, where the US did not respond to it as expected, which showed signs of weakness.
Major weakness.
So that is that. Ladies and gentlemen, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Okay, like the video. Okay, like the video, share it with your friends, and of course subscribe to the channel. We are also over on X as STAKK. And last but not least, we also over on Spotify as STAKK. Until next time, blazing out.
We're not leaving y'all. We'll be back.
Yes.
Like wallet of Satoshi.